blocking for your healing, for your sanity, for your health. Did you get out of a relationship and then get blocked? Did the person that you were with feel toxic or seem toxic, or maybe it just came out of the blue and you had no clue what was going on, and all of a sudden you see them off with someone else and you're blocked and you can't communicate with them at all? Did that ever happen to you? Was that something that just came out of the blue? You see, a lot of times when people are dealing with narcissistic personality disorder and they're with a person that has that and they're in that relationship, all of a sudden it'll change. The dynamic will shift very rapidly, and all of a sudden you'll be the one that's cast to the curb and that's blocked. And you don't have any opportunity to get closure, to figure out what's going on, or to access that person to see, why did you do this? Why did you do this to me? So many times narcissists will leave other people and will block them and will leave it so there's not a way for them to contact them, and it leaves you very confused and wondering what's actually going on. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. And to do that every day by providing awareness on multiple platforms so that people understand more about what narcissism actually is. Because the more and more I talk to people, the more and more I realize that people don't really understand what it is or identify it in real life. In talking with psychologists and therapists and people that sometimes come and they schedule one-on-ones with me because they've been in a narcissistic relationship, one of the top things that they say is, we've learned about this, but it doesn't look like this in real life. What we learned, we didn't see it in real life. We should have known it. We should have realized it because we've studied this stuff, but it doesn't look the same. And so oftentimes you have people in narcissistic relationships that don't understand what's going on. So we try to bring awareness. We try to bring growth, healing, and change by being able to produce content, for one, for the awareness, but be able to produce content so people understand that you're not crazy, that you're not crazy going through this stuff. And when you start to realize the emotional and mental, sometimes physical abuse that happens in these relationships, you have to understand that it is set to make you feel crazy, okay? But over a period of time, you start to put the pieces together and realize what narcissism actually is and how it's geared to make you feel that way so they can get something out of you, so they can feel a certain way. We do this in multiple different ways. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one sometime. You can reach the link down below, or you can go to rawmotivations.com to be able to schedule a one-on-one. We can be able to talk, help you get closure, walk through some of the process of what narcissism is and how it's affected your life. If you want to be involved in a community of people that know exactly what you're going through because they've lived it or they're living it currently, trying to feel and grow and change and figure out what's going on, then join the NARC community. NARC, it stands for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. It's a recovery community of like-minded people that are going through the same stuff. You can download on Apple or on Google Play and get on there and be able to learn about narcissism, to be able to join exclusive lives that are secured so you can come on screen, ask questions, anything like that. Be able to come on and do monthly coaching that we have, with myself, with people all over the globe, to try to be able to help you grow, heal, change, and develop so you can be happy, healthy, and whole moving forward. Because narcissism feels like crazy making, right? Like it feels like, why did they do this? Where's my closure? Because a lot of times at the end of a relationship, you might have a narcissist that walks out of your life. They just completely abandons you and ends up blocking you and ends up leaving you cold on the curb and just says, no, like, I'm done. And you all of a sudden you have no clue. You're like, what did I do wrong? I don't understand what happened. And they block and they move on. One of the things that it does is, as soon as they do that, it puts doubt in your mind. It starts to put a seed of doubt in your mind of like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I didn't change enough. Maybe I didn't apply myself enough. Maybe I didn't figure out enough in the relationship to be good enough for that person. And it slowly puts a doubt in your mind, thinking those negative thoughts and thinking things about yourself and about the relationship that makes you wonder at times, even to the place of, maybe I'm the toxic one. Maybe I'm the narcissist. Maybe I'm the person that's actually crazy and they're normal. Oftentimes when people think this, they look back on the relationship and they start to minimize the abuse that happened to them. It starts to minimize the actual experiences that they went through. For the narcissist, when they block you and you're left kind of cold and dry and not sure what's going on, one of the reasons why they block you is because it helps their narrative. Maybe the narrative that they're selling to the next person or to their family or to their coworkers is that you were the crazy one and that they had to block you. And then any attempt that you make to reach out or to contact them through a different number or showing up just to try to get some clarity, they use that as leverage to be able to show that their narrative is valid and true. You see this person? Like they're knocking on my door like they're crazy, like they're obsessed with me. They'll use text messages and contacting over other social media to be like, look, and try to triangulate another person against you. This is how a lot of times they can secure other supply. Like, I'm just trying to get out of this relationship, and the next person feels like they need to come and like save them or help them from the crazy person that the narcissist made up. Oftentimes the narcissist wants to block you so they can get the last word. Literally, it can be as childish and as petty as that. Of, I want to break up with you and I want to get the last word so that I feel better about myself, so that you didn't dump me, so that I dumped you, and all those different types of things. Because the narcissist wants to be in control, right? They want to be in control of you. They want to be in control of their life. They want to be in control of the mask that they're putting out for everybody else to see. So oftentimes a way to be able to do that is if I block you, then I have control over that. I've actually blocked you and I've made sure that I have the last word. And I'm the one that rejected you. I'm the one that left you versus you leaving me. Oftentimes that was the case in my head, as like the idea of do people leave me? Do I leave people? All the different types of stuff. And you have a narcissist that wants to be the person who doesn't get abandoned, that doesn't get left. So like it's a lot easier for me to leave that person than it is to deal with them leaving me. One of the last things with the end of relationship of them blocking you is also for control. Is they want to be able to control the narrative, they want to be able to control the mask, they want to be able to control the last word. It's all about control. You see, when I control the narrative, then I can get other people, I can get other supply, but then I feel better about myself. I feel better because I twist that in my head of like, it's not me, it's you. And I'm going to prove it to you because I'm going to block you. I'm going to let you go crazy. I'm going to say it to other people. I'm going to show it. I'm going to describe it so that people think that you're crazy, so that people see the narrative that I'm putting out, because it's all about that control of that narrative. A lot of times people say, narcissists, they're not going to come back. There's no way. Like, why would they? Like, the relationship ended awful. Like, I hated it. Like, it was awful. They were yelling at me. They said how much they hated me. Like, they won't come back. They're done with me. And a lot of times people get a false sense of security thinking the narcissist isn't going to come back in their lives. Sometimes it's because they ran a smear campaign and they made you look awful to everybody else. Sometimes it's because they were exposed and more people had an idea of, whoa, like, who is this person? Like, we actually see them for who they are. Don't ever underestimate a narcissist and leaving a door open for them to come back through. Even if they've done a smear campaign, even if you've exposed them to all their friends, family, coworkers, it doesn't matter. You'd be amazed how much a narcissist can flip the script in their head to be able to walk back into your life or text you or hit you up and be like, hey, what's going on? And they'll do that time and time again. They'll twist the scenarios around. Maybe they'll when they block you, they'll twist it around saying, oh, like you're going through a hard time. Or maybe I'll unblock them now because I want to give them a second chance. And they'll make up a whole story that fits a new narrative to try to be able to control the situation, the narrative, but also show other people like, oh, I'm being a nice person because I'm going to go talk to my crazy ex to try to give them some clarity or help them. But it gives them the option of unblocking you whenever they want. You see, when they block you, it's still about that control. And as a result, they can still unblock and they can reappear into your life at any given time. And so you have to be careful. If you haven't seen some of my videos, I have some on here as well on some of the different platforms of how you can block people on Instagram. It's the same way on Facebook, where you can block people who have already blocked you for your safety, for your protection, because they might be doing that in order to come back into your life. Now, why do we always say block? We normally say block because the narcissist typically comes back into your life. And if they don't come back into your life, that's okay too. It doesn't mean they care, because they don't. Okay, but we normally say to block, and I want to give you a couple reasons of why you need to block the narcissist. One is for healing. You can't heal when you keep exposing yourself to trauma time and time again. Think of it like the idea of having like a band-aid on your arm. And each time you rip off the band-aid, you rip off the scab and it reopens the wound. That's what's happening every time you still contact someone who's put you through trauma, through emotional, through mental abuse. And so you have to be able to separate from that to start the healing process. We also tell people to block for their own sanity. Why? Because what they see on social media and through other ways is they see the narcissist putting on a production of, hey, this is who I'm with now. This is my soulmate. This is the best person ever. Like, don't you see all the things I'm giving to this person? It's because they're the best person. They motivate me to change. They help me get better. They don't stress me out. They don't make my life hell. All these different types of things the narcissist will put out there. And we say block because it's all fake. So keep your sanity for that way. And we also say it for your health, for the anxiety, for the adrenaline, for you get that text message and all of a sudden your anxiety like ramps up. You're stressed out. Your nervous system gets all out of whack and you can't concentrate or focus on what's happening because you don't have a calm and cool nervous system in that moment. And the anxiety ramps up and you're stressed and you don't know how to process day-to-day life events because of that anxiety. So we talk about blocking for your healing, for your sanity, for your health. And when we talk about blocking, we talk about, I normally say block, go no contact, ghost. Like I try to be able to say it in several different ways to try to get through to people of saying, hey, blocking and going no contact means that there is no access. There is no way for another person to reach out to you, to get a hold of you, to contact you at all. It doesn't mean you're just not responding. That's still supply for a narcissist. That still is a door open that they can walk through. No contact equals no contact. No contact means you've blocked them on every opportunity out there and that you make sure that you're focused on your healing, growth, and change. Be careful if a narcissist has blocked you. Try to go the extra step to block them as well so they can't come back in your life. But if you have a narcissist, get out of that relationship and block them so that they can't come back. Because if they do, it's not because they love you. It's not because they care. It's all about control.